Mohan, a wiry man with calloused hands and eyes that held the wisdom of the forest, was known throughout the village for his exceptional skill with an axe. He wasn't the strongest, nor the fastest, but his woodpiles were always the highest, his work always the most precise. People often marveled at his seemingly effortless efficiency, attributing it to some innate talent or boundless motivation. But Mohan knew the truth. It wasn't motivation that fueled his success. It was discipline. Motivation is a fickle friend. Mohan would often say, his voice raspy from years spent breathing the crisp mountain air. It comes and goes like the wind. Discipline, however, is the steady oak that withstands any storm. He would often tell the story of his early days when he was a young, ambitious woodcutter, brimming with enthusiasm. He'd wake up early, full of energy, ready to fell the mightiest trees. He'd work tirelessly for hours, fueled by the thrill of the challenge and the promise of a good day's pay. But as the sun climbed higher, the initial fervor would fade. The aches in his muscles would intensify, the weight of the axe would feel heavier, and the monotony of the task would begin to wear him down. On those days, he'd often quit early, leaving his work unfinished, his motivation having deserted him. I was a slave to my feelings, Mohan would confess, shaking his head. I'd work hard when I felt like it, and rest when I didn't. My output was erratic, my progress inconsistent. I was a victim of my own moods. The turning point came one particularly harsh winter. The snow fell relentlessly, blanketing the forest in a thick layer of white. The cold bit deep into his bones, and the demand for firewood was at its peak. Motivation was scarce. The thought of battling the elements and the relentless cold was enough to make even the most ardent woodcutter reconsider. But Mohan had a family to feed, a responsibility that transcended his fluctuating moods. That winter, Mohan didn't rely on motivation. He relied on discipline. He set a daily quota for himself, regardless of how he felt. He woke up at the same time every morning, regardless of the weather. He worked steadily, methodically, focusing on the task at hand, not on his feelings. He didn't allow himself to be swayed by the cold, the fatigue, or the temptation to quit. It wasn't easy. There were days when he felt utterly drained, when the thought of lifting his axe felt insurmountable. But he persevered, driven not by fleeting inspiration, but by unwavering commitment. He reminded himself of his responsibilities, of the warmth his work would bring to his family, and of the satisfaction of a job well done. Slowly, a remarkable transformation occurred. As he consistently applied himself, his skill improved, his efficiency increased, and his physical strength grew. He discovered that discipline wasn't just about overcoming obstacles. It was about building resilience, fostering consistency, and unlocking his true potential. He learned that the most significant breakthroughs often came not during moments of intense motivation, but during periods of quiet, persistent effort. By the end of that winter, Mohan had not only met his quota, but had surpassed it. He had become a master of his craft, not because he was exceptionally motivated, but because he was exceptionally disciplined. His woodpiles were the envy of the village, a testament to the power of consistent effort. Motivation is the spark, Mohan would conclude his story, but discipline is the fire that keeps it burning. It's the steady hand that guides the axe, the unwavering commitment that shapes the wood, and the enduring strength that builds the masterpiece. He would then pause, his gaze drifting towards the towering pines, a silent tribute to the unwavering discipline that had shaped his life and his legacy. His story served as a powerful reminder. While motivation might ignite the passion, it's discipline that builds the enduring structure of success.